Durante mucho tiempo pensé en mi
For a
vida
long
como
time, I viewed my life as if it was a soap opera.
una
I had a
vida
life full of opportunities,
de
with
muchas
many gifts, and with
oportunidades.
lots of money.
Well, Joel has experienced a lot of success, and he's an enviable success story.
Empecé a tener
I dedicated my life to my work, and I kept building my business, and I was becoming more and more successful.
And yet his personal life really deteriorated.
y aunque los negocios marchaban
And although my business was moving along well, my life was pierced.
He was a person who all of a sudden, for no apparent reason, started experiencing failure.
perdí mi trabajo,
I lost my business, I lost my father, I almost lost my own life in an accident. My wife had a miscarriage. 2 years later, she was diagnosed with cancer. Later on, she was kidnapped. Our house was broken into twice. My wife was robbed at gunpoint. All the resources I had, I lost.
He shouldn't have lost everything, but God just blew on it.
creo que fue cuando
So finally, after all of these tragedies, I turned to God and I said, God, speak to me. I finally said, God, what is it you want from me?
And so from being a person that was very self-sufficient, self-made man from a very humble family, to being a relatively wealthy man, he became a man in his late 40s looking to start a new career.
y teníamos que tomar una decisión.
We had to make a decision. We had to decide whether or not to stay in Guadalajara or to find a new place to go.
And that's the reason why he moved to Aguascalientes, because he wanted to start a new life.
Me encontré con una
A friend of mine asked me if I wanted to meet some businessmen he was working with, Jim and Roberto.
He came in for the job interview, and we gave him an interview, and he was very much overqualified for the job, but he seemed very enthusiastic to take the job.
Cuando conocí a Jim y a Roberto,
When I met Jim and Roberto and the Payton family and the Blout family, I met the kind of people I had been looking for a long time. I felt as if these were people I could really connect with.
coincidir.
So I would say the first 3 or 4 weeks, I shared normal things with him about, maybe I read something in the Bible, or maybe one of the values of our company.
Y por primera vez
I remember the first time Jim and I talked about God. I had never really talked to anyone about God before, but with Jim, I felt so comfortable talking about God and about Christ.
ligera.
And so Joel would just listen, and at first I was a little caught off guard because he was too positive.
Nunca había estado con personas que
These were people who were willing to give without any other agenda. Their only purpose was to glorify Christ.
de glorificar a Cristo y a Dios.
And we invited him to start reading the Bible with us, he and his wife, after he'd worked for us for probably 3 months. Because I wanted to wait 3 months just in case. He almost seemed too good to be true.
Sentí que mi vida
And so finally, I felt like my life was working again. I felt like there was a new light shining in my life.
Soon Joel started referring to Christ as being his Lord, as being in his life.
era como empezar a
It was like taking off all these dirty clothes and stepping into the shower to get clean and purified again.
And he started clearly stating that, well, I really know that I am in Christ. He died for me. I'm a follower of Christ.
Many people tell me that I'm lucky because I get to be around people like Jim for 6 hours a day, and so often we get to talk about Christ. It's like I have my very own tutor, an intensive tutor, who is encouraging me every day.
Tutor intensivo.